Okay, solving problems using formulas is fairly common in mathematics. A formula is a mathematical equation that relates two or more variables representing real-world quantities. So things like landscape and construction, design, architecture, they all involve geometry, and we're always going to use the geometric formulas from those specific walks of life. So what we need to do is then take some measurements, substitute into the formulas to find our answers. So if we look at this one's kind of to do with medicine. So a person's maximum desired heart rate when they're working out would be the beats per minute, M, can be found by using M equals 220 minus the person's age, A. We can find the maximum rate of a person that's 37 by just doing M equals 220 minus 37, which would be 183, and that's going to be beats per minute. Okay. Now, when you're doing this, organization is a big part of problem solving. So when we're going through these problems, you want to make sure you're nice and organized. If you don't know some things or if you're confused, a lot of the times it will help you if you're using a more complicated formula to organize all your given information and your required down the left-hand side of your page. So you might write, like in the last example, we would write like M is a question mark and A is 37. And then we're going to use our formula, which is our appropriate formula, would have been M equals 220 minus A. We're going to substitute 220 minus 37, solve 183. And we'd put some sort of statement typically as well if it was a word problem. The acronym for this that I use is GRASS. Okay, given, required, appropriate formula, substitute, and solve. All right, so if we look at another example, so if we have something like this, we've got a cylinder with two kind of spheres on the end, or half spheres shoved on the end. It's a fuel tank. It's got a radius of 1.5 meters on the ends. It's got a length of 7.2 meters. It says determine the surface area of the tank. Use the following formula. Surface area of the tank, and then we have R is the radius, L is the length. So for A, all I'm going to do is I'm going to write down R equals, we've got 1.25, L equals 7.2, and SA is what we're trying to find. So I'm going to write down my formula because it's given in the question. And then all I'm going to do is substitute everything in. So I'm going to put my 4 pi, because pi is just a number. And then I've got 1.25 squared plus 2 times pi times 1.25 times 7.2. And now I'm going to solve it. I'll do it in 2 steps. I would do 1.25 squared times pi times 4 first. And we'll do it to 2 decimals here. So we've got 19.63 plus, and then I'm going to just do 2 times pi times 1.25 times 7.2, and I'm going to get 56.54. And then I would just add those two together. So 56.54 plus 19.63, and I would get 76.17. And this is going to be meters squared because it's an area unit. Now for B, it says we have to do 2 coats of paint. So I have to times that by 2. And then it says 1 can of paint is going to cost this much money. We need to find out how much it costs. So we need to find out how many cans we're going to need. So first, We're going to take that number. We're going to times it by 2 because we need to do 2 coats. Okay, so that's going to be 152.34. Second, 1 can do 29 meters. So we're going to take our answer and we're going to divide it by 29. And that's going to tell me we need 5.25 cans. So we need 6 cans. We can't buy 2.25 of a can. And then 6 times our price was $34.99, and we'll just say that Home Depot had to save the tax. So it's just going to be 180.81. And I wrote the answer down, not the times 34.99 equals 180.8 or 183, excuse me. 0.81, and that's dollars. Okay, and then one last question here. Devin is twice as long as his dog. In 6 years, he will be 4 times as long as his dog. Wow, let's take some of that out. As his dog, or 4 times as old as his dog. How old is Devin? How old is his dog? So right now, Devin, so we'll say, we'll do it like this. Let X be Devin's age. I think I was saying as long, it says old, excuse me. So Devin is 2 times as old as his dog. So we've got Devin and his dog. And then in 6 years, so Devin is X, the dog is 2X. In 6 years, Devin will be 4 times as old as his dog. Okay, so if we have Devin is X plus 6, and his dog is, actually, let's do it like this. Let's change that to his dog's age. I think it'll just make the formula a little bit easier. All right, so we'll go dog's age. So let X be the dog's age, because Devin's twice as old as his dog. So Devin is 2X right now. In 6 years, he's going to be 4X. Okay, so the dog is X here and X plus 6 over here. I'm going to leave that question because this is the only homework we've got right now for you guys to try to figure out. I want you to try to figure out a formula. I've kind of given you some information. Okay, so this is Devin, and this is the dog. I want you to try to figure that out.